In 2019, Honorable Prime Minister launched the NCMC card, which is National Common Mobility Card, and with the concept of bringing all the mobility modes of transportation at the same platform. And at the same time, this card is going to be used for other modes of transactions like parking, airports, shopping, and it's been 4 years. And by adopting NCMC, India seeks to further empower the society and cashless economy by reducing cash transactions and revenue leakage. The more than this, the entire nation, the objective of this card was to bring entire nation at the same platform and working as a single unit for transactions and cashless services. 4 years since its launch, NCMC has been implemented only in a handful of cities. There are challenges in implementing it, but a unified approach by all stakeholders can work wonders, and that's why we are here. I am Priya Singh, co-founder and director of Chalo Mobility Private Limited, and very happy to be moderating this session with my fellow honorable panelists. To start with the introduction, Honorable Secretary MORTH, Mr. Anurag Jain. He's been at the forefront of transformational initiatives like Gati Shakti, National Master Plan, and Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana. As the Secretary of MORTH, he is uniquely positioned to help unlock NCMC potential and ensure its success. I am little nervous because when Anurag sir is sitting here, you can imagine, I worked with him in my first job. He was Bhopal collector, and then I again worked with him for a very short time when he was Commissioner Health Bhopal. So it's like I'm shivering that my boss is sitting here, and you know he has an image. So I'm very, very nervous, and I was telling him, sir, I'm just very anxious. He said, just it's okay. So welcome, sir. I'm very happy that you're leading this session. Another guest is Shri Loknath Behra, the police officer. I wanted to become police officer, you know. When I was in class 2, I wrote on my wall, in my room wall, that Priya Singh DSP. And my father said कि छोटा सपना मत देखा करो यार, DSP लोग छोटे, थोड़ा तो बड़ा बनाओ. मतलब SP लिखती तुम, तो मुझे पता नहीं था जब मैं क्लास 2 में थी कि SP DSP क्या होते हैं. तो Papa was explaining me, I couldn't become police officer. But my family says that I work like a police at home. So I'm happy that I'm policing at home and office. But one of the most dynamic police officers of our time, he's one who established the NIA after Mumbai terror attack. It's very impressive, and he served for 16 years in CBI and NIA both. He is known for implementing innovations, reforms in Kerala Police, transforming into the best techno-driven police force in India. He is also conferred with the Distinguished Services Medal by the President of India for his exceptional work and contribution. Thank you, sir, for coming and gracing the occasion. Shri Arun Bothra, sir, who doesn't know him? He's MD for Crute, and he's another police officer we have. And I'm his fan at Twitter. A lot of people have love-hate relationship with him, but he's played a significant role in reshaping Odisha's police transport system through his commitment to effective operations and clear communication. In recognition of his efforts in promoting sustainable mobility, he was honored as one of the 21 Global Heroes of 2021 by TUMI. My another guest, sir, thank you so much for coming. Shri Sushil Kumar, sir, MD, UP Metro Rail Corporation.
Priya, if I can tell, in that list, Elon Musk was also there.
Wow.
And he was number 6th, I was number 5th.
Wow. I can't believe that, sir. I can't believe that. And I was asking him, what is the आपके young रहने का राज क्या है, हमें भी दे दीजिए कुछ. So Mr. Sushil Kumar, sir, welcome here. He possesses vast expertise in project management, design specifications, technical support, and operations and maintenance within the Indian Railway and urban transport. He has been involved in international metro projects and has received prestigious national award for outstanding services from Honorable Minister of Railways. Welcome, sir. Thank you so much. Mr. Mohit Dubey, CEO of Chalo Mobility. I welcome you too. Mohit is a seasoned entrepreneur. He has built a company called carwale.com and bikewale.com, which has got sold, but his love for wheels didn't change. And he started with a vision of solving a public transport in 2014. Chalo established in 51 cities. We live track 18,000 buses across India. Chalo is aiming to solve the integrated transport mobility system in India. So Chalo has acquired Vogo for two-wheeler electric bikes, which is going to be connecting from 1 mile to another mile, and shuttle for premium bus services. Welcome, Mohit. I have another guest, Mr. Rahul Chandra Das, sir, MD ASTC Assam. We are working in ASTC since last 5 years. The young and dynamic Assam officer of 2004 batch, he is holding the charge of Secretary of Assam Youth Commission also. While in the most states, NCMC is typically a new implementation, he is pulled off an upgrade to an existing contract to include NCMC recently, and it's like very big thing in this country when he's converting the contract. So thank you so much, sir, coming here. I have Shri CK Goel, sir, Senior VP DIMS, Delhi. Sir and I have been speaking since last 2 years on how implementation and technology can function together with bus operations. He is an expert of bus operations, and he's known for harnessing technology to establish strong monitoring system. He is responsible for operating 3,300 buses here in DIMS with Delhi DTC. So thank you so much, sir. Shri Danny Thomas, sir, head transit for NPCI. He is the one who has been leading the entire innovation behind FastTech program, and Aadhaar payments at NPCI. Who can better talk about the entire NCMC implementation here than him? So thank you so much for coming and welcome. I have Shri Abhijit Sen Gupta, sir. There. He is Country Director, Asia Pacific Smart Card Association, India. He is well known for creating smart solution in identifying an urban transport system. His work includes providing advice for transportation projects in India, introducing the one city, one ticket concept for Noida city, and setting up a system to manage smart card. Welcome, sir. And last but not the least, Shri Naveen Chaturvedi, Chief Digital Officer, Yes Bank. And they have been partnering with Chalo and of implementing the entire NCMC program. Naveen is the helm of all digital initiative of one of India's finest and innovative banks when it comes to digital payments and empowering the fintech ecosystem in the country. Over the past 10 years, he's built up knowledge in different aspects of digital banking and payments. This has turned him to a passionate enthusiast for digital banking, particularly when it comes to making transactions through digital payments. Too much. Okay, so welcome everyone. I'm going to be requesting sir to start with the keynote address and grace the occasion and enlighten us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Priya. First of all, I must compliment you for ensuring that everyone is here. Because in such conferences, initially when you draw up a list, you have say 10 speakers, finally you end up with only 5. But you have ensured with your persuasion that everyone is here. I see only one miss out from the original list, which you sent me for the first time. And the kind of work Chalo is doing, which deserves appreciation. So the kind of people here which have assembled here, I personally think there's no point for me to give a real sort of chair. What I'll be speaking will be second-hand information. These people will actually be giving the first-hand information how they have implemented NCMC. But at the conceptual level, I have been sort of associated with most of such initiatives right from Jan Dhan days. So NPCI, I think we have worked very closely together. Mr. Dilip Asbe and I used to spend hours together designing the UPI. And there was another thing at that point of time that called USSD. Because at that point of time, we had very few smartphones. That time the mix in the country was 30-70. 70 was feature phone, 30 was the digital smartphones. So we had to design something for the feature phone. But somehow within the next 2-3 years, the transformation was so fast that the feature phone almost went out of the window. So therefore, USSD never took off. I mean, it was a very limited experiment, but UPI caught on. And then PM Gati Shakti. But I'll say all of you know what NCMC is, so I don't need to talk about it. But this concept of NCMC, when it was being sort of contemplated, I was part of the PMO. So I used to sort of be part of the team, majorly listening because another colleague was coordinating this. But having some experience of IT and finance, I used to pitch in with my ideas. Basic purpose was to ensure ease of living for the citizens. I mean, if you are in Delhi, if you want to go to bus, you keep one card. You want to go to metro, you keep another card. Apart from everything else, it makes the life easy. But just imagine if it becomes one across the country. PM had always been talking about integrating the whole country as one for ease of living. It is not for any other reason. Mainly, it makes life very simple. And he had been talking about ease of living for quite some time. Before, in 2021, we made an index for ease of living across the states. That time I was secretary DPIT, so I just took the idea forward because we are doing ease of doing business. So in consultation with the states, I said, okay, whatever we are doing, let's include ease of living also as an index. So there, this NCMC figures. So that gives an incentive for all states because they are being ranked. Slowly this will catch on because I think ease of living, when we introduce this as a concept, finally it was agreed that in 2023 it would come up for evaluation for the first time. The state said we want a lead time so that we are prepared for our evaluation. So probably this, now I have left that job, so but I have a feeling this year it will be evaluated. I think it will come. Another important initiative I would like to draw the attention of the House is, I'm sure most of you would have heard about Open Network for Digital Commerce. This is the real path breaking. If UPI transform the payment system in the country, what ONDC will do will transform the e-commerce across the globe. This is going to be much bigger than what UPI is. Most of the countries are actually struggling with the duopolies or oligopolies of the commerce world. Like we all know, if it is the e-commerce, if it is the delivery services, if it is the taxi services, only 2-3 big companies are there. Why is it there? The initial person has a huge advantage, someone who comes up with the idea, and thereafter the entry barrier is so high that it is very difficult to enter for a new player to develop that kind of a market because other person is already established, and that leads to duopoly or maybe 3-4 players maximum. New player finds it very, very difficult. But what ONDC does, it democratizes the whole system, and therefore any new player can come up with his idea and plug into a system. Because of the ONDC framework, you are able to get the services of other players through the network. So therefore you have to be good only in the niche area which you are working at, and that is the real advantage. So when Priya talked to me about this, I thought it's a good time to discuss with all of you and say please connect to ONDC. That will be the game changer for the country. And as I'm told, Kerala has already Namo Yatri. You were one of the first two, so I must thank Bhera sir for that. At that point of time, and I used to take weekly meeting, as even though directly it was nothing to do with the secretary DPIIT. We set up the company, but we allowed it to play in the private parts so that it has got nothing to do with the government. Otherwise, it may get stifled. But still, as the coordinator for the advisory council, I used to review it every week. And we were pushing it, and now it has really come of age. As I am told, I mean, even now, they have retained me as part of the advisory council, and they keep sending me weekly report still. I think last week, the total number of transaction was 1.7 lakh transactions per day. So it has really gained momentum. And I was continuously harping that your transactions are coming only from the mobility, which is Kerala and Bangalore mainly. But it has started coming from other than this. It shows that ONDC is taking roots. So this is a high time we connect NCMDC. So what that will do right now for NCMC, of course, I am in love with NPCI. That was the first big organization which supported me in doing this Jandhan. But still, whatever we may say, NCMC is creating a monopoly for NPCI. You can't implement without NPCI. But once you create it on ONDC, NPCI can make it then something equivalent of UPI. I'm just defining my protocols. Anybody who plugs into those protocols can do all the transactions you want. So that will actually democratize the entry for all other players, and that will also make ease of operations technically for any new organization. Right now, everyone has to start transforming right from the beginning. So that is one thought I wanted to leave with. But I more important purpose for me to come to this was to listen to my co-panelist and understand what's happening in the country. Because as Secretary Road Transport, we are also running a scheme where we give support to the state governments under ITS, where we have actually mandated that you have to follow NCMC principle. So there we have actually stipulated this. So whichever state comes to us, STRU comes to us for grant for that particular project, we put this condition. So the purpose was to learn, and I've just shared my thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Bera sir just told me that Honorable Mayor for Kochi is also here. I can't see you, sir. Sir, please come here, please.
Sir, please.
Sir, please come here.
Protocol wise, you should be here. Sir, as protocol, you have to be.
Sir, please come here.
Please. Get one more chair.
Thank you so much, sir, for letting us know. I'm going to you, sir, Bera sir. We spoke in length on phone that day when I called you to invite you, and you were telling me that it is one of the beautiful initiative by Government of India and Honorable Prime Minister Modi, but there are challenges, right? And there are challenges, different kinds of aspects of that challenges, and I would like you to bring up those challenges, because all the stakeholders are here. The panel is very diverse. So if you can help us understand the challenges and how we are going to navigate through it, it will be helpful for us.
You have 5 minutes. I can speak 5 minutes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. So, esteemed chairman, honorable mayor, and friends. Arun is also here. So I will say that technology has done a lot of good things to our country. And going by some interaction with the honorable PM, he is totally a at times I think he is a technocrat himself, and he understands things so quickly. And NCMC was his dream. And it came, but it did not become that popular. Priya was telling me. Because anything you introduce, it will have little starting issues initially, but after some time it will stabilize. Don't worry about that. But whether the NCMC we will go or we'll upgrade it to the account-based ticketing is now a question. See, NCMC kind of thing was there in UK. Some time back when I was traveling, you'll buy a day pass and you can travel in any of the modes. But subsequently, for last 2 years, they have put the account-based ticketing. So you use I was using, last week I was in London. So that time I was using my State Bank of India debit card, and it is AFC gates are opening. So what I understand is that NCMC has to come in whatever form that Anurag and other people at policy level, they have to take a decision. But who actually wants to carry a card these days? The card, number of cards, earlier you buy a wallet, it will have 20 such gaps to put different cards. One card for shopping, another card for this card, loyalty program cards. That nowadays it is not coming like that. Those purses are actually, the wallets are not available. I also don't carry anything. I also don't carry a purse at all. So, in that situation, the best thing is to make such a thing, whether we can make it everything digital residing in your phone. So, for example, that we have gone to that level in Cochin, this which I'll tell you. What is happening is that you go to an auto rickshaw or go to a bus. In Cochin, you don't have to give the money. You just have to put your that QR code, just scan it. And it actually reads your geolocation and tells that this much of money is gone. That's actually the future, and it has to be done that way. NCMC card, Priya told that, look, why it is not becoming, it's a challenge. There are 2-3 very small things. One is that it is a bank issued card. So you have to go for the KYC as per the RBI guidelines. So it takes time. So people are not happy with that. So we have a Kochi One card. We have given around 1.5 lakh or 1.6 lakh cards. But every time the complaint is that the KYC has to be renewed, KYC this. So people don't want to do that. So some people say that then there is actually chip balance versus e-balance. There is an issue about that, about how it is to be done. Now what has a NCMC card has to be there. Honorable Prime Minister has launched it. We can't say that it is not. We can only improve its services and qualities or whatever. First of all, completely make it virtual and reside in the phone. Second thing is that incentive. If you use NCMC card, you get some more incentives. Something like that. You have to think in those terms to make it popular. But what Anurag told is a very, very important point. Now, ease of actually travel or ease of living, what we can do is that go to the ONDC. In the ONDC, we are going to be the first metro. We will be using the ONDC platform so that all the buyers and sellers are there. Now what happens is that whether I make the payment through Paytm or Google Pay or anything, it's possible if you are using the ONDC platform. Now, Government of India, thanks to Anurag, thanks to Manoj, they have issued an order now that all the metros have to go to the ONDC platform. It's an order. So now what is happening is that Nitin is here. Nitin is there. He's ONDC. So they are now working, and he has promised me by December 31st, he will give me the platform so that it will be easy for us. We did it for the taxis, for the auto rickshaws. That is some time back. They did that one. So it is not only in the transport sector. The Kerala government has issued an order that from tourism to industry, everybody has to be on the ONDC platform. That is the future. What the dream of the Prime Minister, saying that everything is digital and easy. The other part is what I wanted to say is that use the actually innovatively for the time being the QR code based solutions. It is very cost effective. It doesn't cost money. It can actually be configured in your phone and it's very easy. We are doing it. See, as I say that if a particular person wants to travel in an auto rickshaw from his house to the metro station, from metro station he goes to his office, from office he goes by a cycle to his to the nearby store, from there he goes by water metro, or by then again comes to something. It should be so easy that he doesn't have to stand in the queue and buy a ticket. That is what he's going to the. Everything is residing in the phone. He just in the morning configures, downloads the everything and goes and does. This is how it is going to happen. So we have done a lot of good things and we are only going to do better things. What Anurag said, we are actually into this. I didn't know that he's actually in the advisory council of the ONDC. I would have bothered him. I actually went and met Nitin and Kosi. Every time I come to Delhi, I meet them and say that how much actually you have done for, they are doing for Swiggy to everything, food to everything they are now doing. I'm very happy. I told that 1,50,000 is a very small number. You have to reach 10 lakhs as quickly as possible. And they will do it. I'm sure about that. I'm not actually saying that I'm just batting for the ONDC. I'm batting for the technology and that platform which has been. It is a platform. It is like a South Indian thali. Everything you can put there and eat. That is how it is good. So last thing which I wanted to say is that Priya could not become police officer. It is good, but because you came to this kind of innovative work, and a lot of things will be expected from you. And I would suggest, if time permits, you can actually, with the permission of the chair, Nitin can speak 2 minutes on the innovations they are trying to do.
Thank you so much, sir. And we all are hearing to Kerala stories. We are working with private partners. There are 2,000 buses in Kerala. So we get a lot of updates and how innovations Kerala is doing. Recently, we signed like 5,500 buses with Kerala KSRTC. So we are implementing the entire solution there. But there's a angle to it. When we talk about the entire digital platform and putting everyone on digital, there is still segment of this country which is not relying on the digital payments, and they might not be having the smart cards. As we work in 51 cities, we keep seeing that, and the entire card still has the relevance, and people would like to carry the card, and old school people, the kind of people travel by especially buses. And I'm not talking about metros, because Bombay में वैसा metro नहीं है जहाँ पे हमने पूरा NCMC implement किया है, या आसाम में जहाँ पे है, तो card still is relevant. And I think NCMC is a specification which can be implemented with or clubbed with any card. It's not a card. So if you remove the NCMC card and if you say that this is a specification which can be part of any card, when you go to London, as sir was telling, that is a compliant card, specification compliant card, which we can also do in India. And I'm going back to Arun sir, one of the greatest marketing minds, officer with marketing minds we have seen. I'm sure everybody is following him on Twitter. If not, please follow him. He's very entertaining. Sorry, sir. Entertaining is not a right word, but I find you very entertaining there. But, sir, please help us. How do you think we can unlock the growth of NCMC? 10x in India, how do we get the million users? How do we get the next million or 10 million or 100 million users for NCMC? Compliant cards.
Yeah, thank you, Priya. Chairman sir, Behra sir, Honorable Mayor, and all the participants here. Thanks to Chalo for inviting me. Priya, as Behra sir said that you wanted to go to police, and we have come to mobility. Both the police officers, and we are happier. We are happier here. I am thinking that I am doing better.
Sir, is there an exchange program?
I'll be happy.
Please take me.
I'm retiring in 5 years. I'll be very happy going to that. Okay. So, as Chairman sir said, I am coming from the field actually. I am not a technical person, studied history and got into UPSC. But I can tell what we have been doing and why digital thing is required. I joined Crude first time. This is the second time I am the MD there. And sir, we are very new company. 2018 we started. And you will be happy, sir. Last 5 years in a row, we are getting the best award, transport sector award in urban mobility, sir. This is the 5th time I am getting tomorrow. So I joined in 2019 May. Our ridership was 48,000. And in 7 months time, we achieved 1 lakh. That was because of the police connection, sir. I'm telling that actually. Because we had a lot of pilferage. That's what I'm trying to say. Not that we added those many people, but we could stop the pilferage because of the little police intervention here and there. This time I joined in June, and my ridership was 1.91 lakhs. and now in 4 months it is 2.8 lakhs.
Wow.
Again, we have not added, I don't think we have added those many people. Why it is important? Why digital intervention is important? Because sir, ultimately, all the PSUs, all the state transport corporations, they are struggling with the subsidy thing. Is how much government can infuse. Because of these interventions, we have been able to bring down our subsidy per passenger from 11 rupees 65 paisa to 3 rupees 75 paisa. The subsidy part of the government has come down to 3 rupees 75. Now government spends for my every passenger 3 rupees 75 paisa, which was in 2019 and 20 11 rupees 75 paisa, 65 paisa. So because we are putting less burden on the government, now government has also agreed to put more buses on the road.
Yeah.
So ultimately, to make our companies viable, to put more buses on the road, make government enable the government to put more buses on the road, pilferage we have to stop.
Yeah.
So for me as a policeman, because police वालों की नजर चोरों पे पहले जाती है, तो I have to think from that perspective that what intervention is going to help me in making my company, every ticket, every money, everything has to come to my kitty so that my company becomes viable. That is how I think this is NCMC is a very, 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 it's a must idea basically. As sir said that, and you are saying that it's not a card, it's an experience basically.
Yeah, it's a
It's not-
specification. You can put it
it's not
with any
necessary
card.
when you are talking about seamlessness.
Yeah.
As I said, if you have a card, if you have a credit card, like everybody, I think everybody in this hall must be having some card in the pocket. I have 5, my ID card, driving license, 2 ATM card, and 1 credit card. Each of those have to be enabled.
Enabled.
Like I can be able to, that is the seamlessness.
Yeah.
That is the seamlessness. Yesterday we were having a meeting in our office that we want to go digital because of this pilferage issue. So my team said that we can have a tie-up with either Paytm or phone pay or something. I said, why one? Why not all? Let everybody. They want to. I want to sell my tickets as many as जो भी बेचेगा मुझे तो पैसा मिलना है मेरा और उसको अपना प्रॉफिट मिलेगा वो जो करना है करेगा. So when we are talking about seamlessness, it has to be across the board.
Yeah.
Every card has to be NCMC, and I believe personally, though our literacy rate may not be very high and education standards may not be very high, but still we are leading in the digital currency, digital transactions in the world. That means our people are. It's not that people are not. They are not adopting. People are willing to adopt, even if they don't know. Like we all see that somebody thela wala, ready wala. They are also using. Not that they are very educated people, but they know because it is ultimately the convenience. It is the comfort of the transaction that helps. Now, why NCMC? What I'm saying and what I would like to tell Anurag sir particularly, the systems we have right now, the requirement, we all have the willingness. Our people are willing. Adaptability is there. We have a requirement. But to me, what I understand from our experience, sir, the technological solutions are not there as many. And there are a lot of variations and some platform, it is not syncing with that, it is not syncing with that, within the state only. So I think, sir, maybe at a government of India level or some level, if we are able to standardize those platforms, that this is the technology which will help everybody, then the thing will go very, very fast. That is, and sir, most importantly, I would like to mention, now PM e-bus seva scheme has come. They are rolling out 10,000 buses. In the first part, they are giving the buses and also money for that ITMS systems. But sir, many companies already have ITMS system and they are not NCMC enabled. So unless NCMC, when I'm putting my system, in fact, sir, I was going to launch an RFP a week ago, which we have stopped, which we have put on hold because now we want to make it NCMC enabled. So when we are, sir, now thinking, last point I would like to make, sir, when we are now going to new areas where there is no urban mobility, PM e-bus seva scheme, what I understand, they are going to introduce e-mobility in many areas which are not served as of now. We must ensure that before the bus is rolled out, that system has to be NCMC enabled. Because first you put the bus, then you create an ITMS system, then you say it is not NCMC enabled, फिर उसको change करना है, फिर वो change नहीं होता है, फिर वो syncing नहीं होता है. So sir, why not when we are going to new areas, when we are adding more buses and so much of money being spent by government of India as well as the states, why not make sure that from the day one, if you are going to a new area, NCMC the ability is already there. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Very valid points. I'll go to Sushil, sir. There has to be a sustainable ecosystem for NCMC, and there is something called MDR, which has been the most talked about topic when it comes to NCMC, and there is some percent of money which is supposed to be charged in NCMC, and the card becomes expensive, and then it becomes in heads-on competition with closed loop versus open loop. So I would like you to enlighten us on that. What do you think about MDR charges, and who should be bearing it? Whether it's bank or the customer or the authorities, how do we see? Because it is becoming one of the challenging scenario here.
Thank you, Priya. Respected Chairman, sir, and panelists, and all the participants. Before answering this question, let me go into the background. Unless until we evaluate what is at stake and what is the financial equations behind this MDR, picture will not be perhaps clear. So I will focus more on the metro part of it. Way back, almost 7 months back, Kanpur Metro was one of the first metro where NCMC card was introduced, along with the other two metros. And it was a good learning period for last 7 months. ONDC, we are already working, as sir has pointed out. It will take another 2 months to roll it out. There is a good progress on it. But coming back to the financial part of it, there are a few things which are important. First is that metros are mostly divided in 3 parts. One larger metro like Delhi Metro, having transaction perspective, around 30, potential is around 30 lakhs transaction per day. For a medium scale metros, which is having a ridership around 5 to 6 lakhs per day and aiming for almost 10 lakh. And then there are all tier 2 cities metros, where the ridership is somewhere around 80,000 or so, 70 to 80,000, and they are aiming for 1 lakh in a short period. Now, the smart scale penetration in these metros, even after so much of operation, for larger metro is somewhere around 60 to 70%, and for smaller metros it is still 30% or so. There are different reasons for that. So when MDR percentage of 0.9 has been designated from RBI side, this question, who should pay, is basically governed by how much is the potential out of it. So even if 100% is migrated, say for example to NDMC, there are few things to be considered. First is that whether the NCMC will remain in future with regard to ABT. I feel it will remain, particularly in smaller cities where there are people reluctant to go for 100% digitalization, not because of not being familiar, but because of the end use itself. Say, for example, when we did a survey after launching this card, around 6.7% where the customer, where the card has been given by the लाला ने दिया है अपने आदमी को कि सामान वहां से वहां पहुंचा दो. So it's a card which has been purchased and rest of the people are using. Another example is where we sold almost 400 card to a factory owner who has distributed this to his employees so that they get the free parking, so that they get a free travel time, and he is topping up. So there will be, in ideal scenario, maybe 5% smart card will continue, and our wish should be that it should be preferably NCMC sandwich with ONDC. Rest perhaps will go to ABT. Now let us come to the finance part of it. Smaller metros, almost all metros are having a requirement of around 125 to 150 CR per year to run it. where 33% is electricity expenditure and rest staff and maintenance cost. And as on date, almost all smaller metros are earning that much also. Almost 20 CR is coming from non-fare box, whether advertisement and property development, and rest is coming from ridership. So end-to-end, cash in, cash out basis, all the metros are able to meet the requirement. It is only when, because it's a company ultimately, when the depreciation come, when the loan repayment liabilities come, then of course the P&L loss convert into negative side. Why I'm telling this is that all the metros in even today is giving 10% rebate on a smart card. And that amount was going into the metro's account earlier when it was a closed loop. As soon as it has been converted to a NCMC card, it is going to bank.
Yeah.
So sooner or later, because it's a very small amount, 125 CR, a target of 125 to 150 CR, 10 CR matter a lot.
Yeah.
So metros may give up sooner or later, because right now everybody is struggling to increase the ridership and nobody want to take risk. As soon as they are in a comfortable zone, maybe smaller cities, break even, there is no break even because it is all fair and non-fair mixture. So if it is going, say, beyond 1.25 or 2 CR, 2 lakhs transaction per day, definitely this 10% rebate will go away. Right now, it is acting as an incentive to NCMC because this rebate has been simply transferred without asking anything. So this is one reason where sooner or later this MDR percentage, MDR rate, the charges has to be borne by either by the banks or by the customers. Bank will definitely not like to have it. So it will automatically get transferred to the customers. But customers, nobody want, and we know how the corrective actions have been taken from time to time by RBI. So there are so many guidelines. Even today's there are few metros which says that okay, I will give the MDR liability to the bank instead of passing it to the customers. So the answer lies differently for a smaller metros who are struggling for these 2-3 CRs. Perhaps they would like to transfer this to the customers or the end users. For larger metros, depending upon the financial liabilities, they may retain it with them for some time. It's all depend upon till what time this 10% bracket is passed on to other side, because now metros are not getting that money.
Yeah.
And we all know the profitability part is coming not from MDR part. It is the money in whose account it is loaded till it is expenditure is done. So metros have now washed their hand. They don't have that advantage. So they will definitely shell out that portion later on, sooner or later. This is main thing. And last but not the important part is ABT is bound to come. And ABT has to be integrated with the ONDC. So right now we are passing through a smooth transition phase where there is a lot of learning, and those learning needs to be circulated. What are the reasons for which a smart card to NCMC was not getting transferred? If I talk about the data as on date, when I said that 30% of smart card users are there in a small city, small metros, and a medium metro is almost 70%. Why it is not going beyond that? 70 was a figure achieved almost 7-8 years back. We are saturating somewhere. And if I'm monitoring the data every day, what is the daily percentage and daily issue as well as the transaction for NCMC as well as the cards. Smart card or closed loop card, customer do not want to give away that card for different reasons. Few reasons are very, very flimsy. Say, for example, it's take 1 to 3 seconds extra to open the gate. Technically, it will be there. But second is the mindset. Bank. Luckily, when we were going to start NCMC card Kanpur, I know Thomas might remember that it was a good struggling time, and ultimately we derived KYC is not required. It was a big boon, and we were able to forcefully give these cards to all the customers. That okay, slowly and slowly we are going to close all the closed loop card, and we will be only issuing and tackling the NCMC cards. So at least in my metros, I'm planning that as soon as the this NCMC card is made enabled to Lucknow, because Kanpur it is running. Lucknow we are targeting by end of December. We will in a straight way switch over to that NCMC card.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Yes, sir. I go to Mr. Denny Thomas because you have been behind UPI and FASTag, and we would like to hear your vision because you came to make NCMC implementation successful in India last year in this project. So please help us understand that how you are thinking and how it is going to be successful.
Sure, Priya.
And
Thanks
just
for
fast tracking a little bit.
yeah. Thanks a lot, Priya, and Chairman sir, and all the honorable panelists. This is a wonderful opportunity and a platform for me to kind of at least come out and put up some vision what we have been internally driving within NPCI. NPCI, Anurag sir, you know that we have been set up for digitizing the payment ecosystem, and we are a not-for-profit organization, right? So the objective is always to create public good infrastructure. And I was happy that Arun sir mentioned that his education is in history, and I think a lot of time we don't go back to what has happened and why, say, NCMC was created. Because frankly speaking, Anurag sir, we didn't had the specifications. NPCI was running with normal RuPay specifications, which could have been easily implemented on a ABT model, account-based ticketing model, right? Which we are talking right now. But there was a committee set up to kind of come back and say that no, the bank cards needs to have the same system and processes which the current closed loop cards are being implemented in all the metro projects. And incidentally, all the metro projects were running on card-based model. It's the balances are actually written on the chip. It is not in your account, right? So, and these are all offline transactions, and this is the need why it has to be a card-based model, is that the gates have to open within 500 milliseconds, right, for the metros. For the buses, way back 6-7 years back, I myself had implemented a BMTC project, the first actual bus project of NCMC. Within the city of Bangalore, there were so many dead spots where network was not available, right? So in buses also, the network issue was highlighted as a major thing. So hence the need for a card-based solution, and that's how NCMC was created, and it was open to all these yeah. So just in the interest of time, so it was opened up, and that's the genesis of NCMC. Otherwise, it would have been easy for NPCI also to kind of straight away go to account-based ticketing, and we created this to cater to the needs of the transit ecosystem. So that's one thing is there. Account-based models can still be implemented on NCMC specification as well as the other card scheme. The only challenge is who takes the risk of the first ridership. So when you open up an account-based model, it is any card, irrespective of the balance, not balance, can go in and kind of So who will take that risk? None of the issuers can take the risk. None of the transit authorities or operators can take that risk. The networks cannot take that risk, right? Neither RuPay nor Master nor Visa.
Just for Mr. Behra's information, London transport for London, the risk taken is £6 by banks.
By banks.
No, in Singapore, they lost, because last week there was a delegation, they lose $300 per day. And that is actually, then they are saying, that is good, this is the problem.
But in India, apart from metros, the buses operators do not want to take that risk.
So no one wants to take that risk. So that's the biggest challenge. Yeah. So the point is that that's how NCMC was created and it is getting implemented. Priya mentioned that 2019 it was launched, but actually NCMC projects started coming in from January this year. So if you look at all the projects which have got opened from Mumbai Metro to Kanpur Metro to Chennai to Bangalore, these are all the first time interoperable actual, because Kochi was an exclusive project. There a bank kind of paid royalty and have taken exclusivity. But the actual power of NCMC was that all bank cards should get accepted. And that's how the power will come to the transit operators, where they don't have to issue separate cards, right? The entire cost of issuance and everything goes away. So the greenfield projects, which is Mumbai line 2A and 7 and Kanpur. So Mumbai from Jan within 10 months, so it's been 10 months now, we are at 35% penetration. Kanpur, we are at 15% penetration. So the closed loop penetration, what sir was talking about, for smaller ones is around 30%, right? So we are there. So I mean, if you take apple to apple comparison, we are there. We are struggling in the brownfield projects like Chennai, where already there, or Delhi, where there is a significant base of closed loop card. Okay, and that's the real challenge for us as ecosystem, how to kind of convert these closed loop. There also, sir, if you look at the customer behavior, right, and incidentally, Bera sir, I had 2 days back detailed discussions with Nitin. On
Denny,
these.
I am going to be stopping you here.
Okay.
I'm really sorry. I have to go to Rahul sir because I have
Sure,
to.
I'll just make
have
one
their,
last point. I'll just
opinions.
make
Yeah.
one last point.
Just quickly.
Yeah, just last one point, that the brownfield projects is where we have to kind of give incentives to the customers to convert it. We have to make very clearly distinguish that what is the customer behavior, what is the preference of fare media of the customer. So it has come out with a closed loop implementation that all the regular customers prefer a card as a form factor, and that's why NCMC as a card as a form factor will continue. QR code, which is now coming as an alternative to the tokens, especially in metro, is gaining popular. But if you look at it today also, and Kochi Metro, sir, I think hardly 2 or 3% of that QR code comes on mobile. Rest all is paper. So people are actually lining up and taking that, right? So that again is going to be a challenge, and that's where ONDC, other platforms will have to play to popularize this entire thing. And it's a journey, and NPCI would be more than happy to kind of take up that journey along with ONDC and all the other ecosystem players. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I'm going to Rahul sir and then Mohit you and then Goel sir you. I'm asking a comprehensive question from all three of you, because we have spoken about metro. It's easier on metro to implement NCMC because the kind of crowd goes on metro is very, very different, significantly different than the people who are traveling by bus every day. And sir has been very brave. Rahul sir has been very brave because we have been working with them since 5 years and he has ticketing and tracking solution. But he's the one who called one day, like a couple of months ago, and he said, I want the entire integration with NCMC solution, and implementation should be quickly. And we did it in a 1 month, and the Assam has become NCMC compliant entire services, especially on buses. Buses are difficult to get transformed from closed loop to open loop card, wherein MDR is involved and the bus customers are going in a very low economic group. So this is my question, and Mohit, your vision, that how you visualize. So after sir, yeah, I'm going to be asking you. You can continue.
Respected Chairman, sir, respected dignitaries, Honorable Mayor. Very relevant question. Actually, I'd like to go back to the Secretary, sir. What Secretary said, what is the motive behind, what's the motivation? Basically, it's the ease of living, sir. Definitely, it's our motto. Our government motto is that we need to ensure that it's the seamless travel experience they should experience across various transport modes. So we have this ticketing system, but it's not been going so well, not with the citizens as well. Lack of awareness may be the thing. And there are some challenges with the NCMC as well, huge cost that's related to the proper integration of NCMC. But somehow we thought that because the way Cello did in Assam, although we could track many things, we could rely on the data. Basically, the user-friendly apps, although the citizens which have been experienced is a larger number, but now it's growing up. And what we could calculate, sir, that with the Cello's app, live passenger indicator during last year, we could save alone around 6 lakhs productive man days in a month. So it's benefited very much, and we could calculate that there is two part. One is the seamless travel we wanted to. Second is the data we are getting, the gathering. The data is very. So we thought that the ITMS components, which includes AFMCS, AVLS, all can give us so much of data. And this definitely, we little bit of with the data we had, we could identify the demands and reschedule the routes accordingly. So with the small fleet size in Assam, like in Guwahati city, we don't have much fleet. Now we are planning few more fleets now. Electric mobility also we are planning from this January, and 200 EVs we have ordered. Procured actually in collaboration smart city. So we are planning to go totally NCMC compliant, because we are finding it very reliable, as well as to stop this revenue leakages. In STUs, we find the revenue leakages, cash handling is very tough to manage. And second part, sir, I would like to request basically for more effective implementation of ITMS across cities with standardized data sharing and interoperability protocols, because this interoperability will only lay the foundation of a strong NCMC card design, and we could adapt to the rapid adoption of this across the state, and definitely it will help, and hopeful that with collaboration with all the stakeholders we can move forward. Thank you. I'll not take too much of time. And sir, I'd like to also, I'm happy to share that, sir, in the, I had the VC scene in ONDC. So we have already planned a new scheme in Assam. We are planning with a private partner. We are going for a totally e-bike services on ONDC platform. So we'll be launching this month only by November. We have started the city cab like Ola Uber, ASTC city cab. That has also received good response. And this e-bike on initiative, I'd like to interact with Nitin as well. Sir, your guidance will also be required. So, subsequently, we can move on the ONDC platform as a whole. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. I go to Abhijit, sir. Instead, for the smooth adoption and how you visualize and what is your idea of making it successful in India?
Chairman, sir, and all distinguished guests, I would not go into all those details. I'll just clarify certain things which have been discussed till now. ONDC is one layer above NCMC and closed loop and other things. ONDC is like HTTP. Whether you have Gmail, Yahoo Mail or others, it doesn't make any difference. Whether it is a closed loop system or open loop system or a QR code system, whatever it is, ONDC is a data exchange protocol based on beacon protocol. ONDC was developed on beacon. So the beacon protocol we need to understand. That is one layer above all these things. Arun sir, you don't need to necessarily force changing to NCMC. From closed loop, also you can, if you can integrate it with ONDC or beacon protocol, it will connect it with you not only with your bus operations, but with all the metros which are compulsorily coming on that, but with all the payment apps separately which are already linked to that. So let us not confuse between these two layers. AFCS layer is a layer one below than the beacon protocol layer which guides the ONDC platform. Incidentally, beacon started with...
I've been listening to this. I thought in the end I'll clarify. I'm happy you're doing that. But everybody has been using the word platform. ONDC is not a platform.
It's not a platform.
It is a network.
It's a
This is the
network.
only point I would make. Please
So
continue.
protocol, the network supports the beacon protocol. Incidentally, beacon started working with MOA much earlier than ONDC was formed. Unfortunately, because of whatever reasons, let us not deliberate here, we have not been successful. But yes, MOA has taken certain baby steps towards that. They have already started. Hopefully, someday we'll see the light there. As far as QSpark group and account based, the reason is basically a committee of secretaries which decided why QSpark has to be created separately, which is card based technology. And one of the major reasons was risk management. Because of the risk, see, when you talk of one card, you cannot talk about metro separately, bus separately. A bus operator is not. And banks do not want to share that risk also. So who's going to take the risk? That is how the card came in. And as Denny said, black spots, dark spots. Every city has, even Delhi has it. So until unless you have a card-based transaction base, you will not. Especially if you are doing a morph operation like intercity. Where is the network availability? Half that lane is dark. So you need a card-based ticketing. That is why it was decided to go in for a separate specification apart from account-based. I have been as AppsCard director, I have organized at least 6 events on this topic itself. 6 different conferences, 2-day conferences, where Visa, Master, everyone was there. And end of the day, we came to the conclusion that we have to follow the card-based technology initially. Once we get the network balanced, saturated all over the country, pan-India, then we might think of it. But there also it will depend on risk management. But today, risk management comes secondary apart from the network connectivity. Third is why NCMC did not succeed. It was nothing to do with technology. It was more to do with the business models we adopted. We as operators restricted the NCMC success. So let us not blame the technology, let us accept the mistake. One thing which Priya missed out, I was a consultant for MOVA for 5 years. So for the World Bank projects. So let us be honest and start accepting our mistakes. Then only we can correct it. Then only we can implement it properly. So we must study what mistakes we have done. Mistakes were on our own business modeling. We said restrictive, Kochi Metro, restrictive, only my cards will be read. Noida Metro, same. SBI took Noida and Nagpur, they said, okay, from here to Nagpur you can read. Who's going to carry a card from here to how many cards? I have 3 RuPay cards in my wallet. Not a single one has a QSpark application. Do you want it to succeed? So let us be very clear. Let us start calling a spade a spade. Then only we can solve the problem. Incidentally, sir, I would like to inform you, card is even today in London, the percentage of card including Oyster is 70%. And London is much advanced than us. If you talk about metro, you will still get NCMC success very high. In buses, it is mostly cash and QR code. So we do not need to work on QR code on our end, because Flipkart, a lot of Phone Pay, Google Pay, all these things are available. Bharat QR has done a fantastic job. Let us create whatever solutions we have, integrate it with Beacon so that everything gets accepted and I get a revenue. When I did a project for Indore for World Bank, I have Sandeep Soni's written statement saying that his revenue increased 30%. It was a gated service, BRTS. There was a person who was monitoring security and everything. he was very confident that everything is going gung-ho. But after implementing AFCS, ITS, his revenue increased 30%, his ridership increased. And then he said he realized that what a mistake he was doing for all these years. So technology, when you close the entire loop, you have to find a solution for the ecosystem. You cannot talk about only NCMC. NCMC is critical as far as card. You cannot replace card at all. Worst case scenario you will have in buses is 30% cards. So cards can be NCMC, but 70% is QR code and other things, which we should not forget, because I managed 5 years for buses for Mahua. So I've seen 70% is cash. If I go to your state transport buses, sir.
Sir,
it
you
will
are
be 90%.
amazing.
Sorry.
I am so sorry. I'm
Last-
running out
just
of
one-
time.
one
There are
last
3
statement.
speakers left,
Just one
and
last
I am
statement.
going to be doing like separate session with you because
not at all.
I'm genuinely telling you that the kind of things you are saying, it is very helpful to understand for us, people like us who are working in the industry.
One last
So-
statement and then I'll
Yes,
stop.
sir.
Please do not mistake ONDC or Beacon protocol for one operator. It is a multimodal implementation.
Yeah.
Until unless it is multimodal, do not waste your time.
Thank you so much, sir. I go to you, Mohit. You have been implementing the entire NCMC solution on buses, which is a difficult thing. And we have seen massive growth in Bombay. And Naveen, you are here, and Denny is here. We worked as a team and
You want to
implemented.
finish with Goel
Goel
and
sir,
everybody
Goel
else?
sir
I'm
is
so-
going to be giving
Okay, fine.
pre-closure note.
So he basically touched upon few things. First of all, my regards to all the speakers here. We spoke about London. London has metro every 100 meters, and 55% people in London metro comes out of buses. So if you have going to have an NCMC card or anything successful in this country, it has to work in buses. That's number one. In India, I did some rough maths yesterday. The total metro, Mr. Honorable Minister said it yesterday, we have 890 kilometers of metro now, third largest in the world. It's a great achievement, actually. So the total distance covered by people for their daily commute in cities where the population is more than 5 lakh is close to 10 lakh kilometers. Bhopal, we run buses in Bhopal. Road length of Bhopal is 1800 kilometers, where our buses run, right? And we have 3 kilometers of metro. So it's all great, but we'll have to make it work in buses. That's number one. The second thing is, if you want to make it work in buses, where Chalo can help, because that's your question, right? How do we help? Is 2 things actually. 60% or 70% of stage carriage buses are still run by private operators. In Kerala, in Uttarakhand, in MP, every bus is private operator. In so many cities, Kolkata, 80% buses in the city are run by private operators. They're very small operators that will never have the financial will or technical will to implement that to implement the infrastructure for accepting it. People like Chalo can make it seamless. We can make it so much more easier for them to adopt that. That's one. The second thing we spoke about, KYC and distribution of the cards. Today, a conductor in BST bus can issue an NCMC card in 60 seconds. Maybe it can become 30 seconds and 40 seconds as well as we innovate. I think Chalo and companies like Chalo, hundreds of them, can play a large role in solving a distribution problem. And I want to just close it with the statement that UPI has been an extraordinary success, not for this country, but around the world. Everybody recognizes it. Not just because Government of India, policymakers, NPCI, banks, they all came together, but it also because people like Google Pay and Phone Pay took it to millions of consumers. And this is a great example of everybody coming together. And this is what it will take to make NCMC successful. A bank and a policymaker and some private partners and thinkers and so on and so forth. That's all. Sorry?
Ridership is in the buses, not metros.
Yeah, so more than 100 million people travel in buses every day. So it's obvious that, buses has to be solved. Thank you.
Unless you solve the problem for buses, do not think of replicating.
But it becomes easier in buses when you have run it in metro and so on and so forth, right? It's become easier for a private operator when a government adopts it because then people don't have a choice.
Buses.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mohit. I go to Goel sir. That how you are thinking about the adoption in Delhi, and you have been pioneer in running buses here. So please tell.
Chairman sir and other dignitaries, basically Delhi, there are two top transformation basically in the country. One is your e-mobility under PPP. Second is your digital ticketing. Then we need to improve basically quality of bus services with using lot of data analytics. These are the challenges. In India, most of the cities implemented your AIS 140 compliant GPS system. They implemented your electronic ticketing machines, handheld device to the conductors. Some of the cities also implemented, including Delhi, basically exchanged the same with the Delhi Metro, and we integrated the DMRC card on the buses also. This was the baseline. Then we came to know BST Mumbai implemented the NCMC compliant solution within 100 days. Our complete team, minister, commissioner, and other good people connected with this technical team, they visited Mumbai. We got a lot of learning from there. First is, in the existing electronic ticketing machines, conductor used to change the fare stage manually. There is scope of undercharging, overcharging. In the system of BST Mumbai, what we found, there is an inbuilt GPS in the machine, and fare stage used to be changed automatically with the GPS. There was no intervention of the conductor. Second, basically great challenge was duty assignment of the GPS with the bus number. In case of breakdown again, we have to change the bus number trip-wise. What we found, this solution was also implemented in Mumbai. The feed from the electronic ticketing machine, handheld device, which was L3 compliant, NCMC compliant device, was integrated with the backend. Now we got the perfect MIS. There was a route-wise live monitoring, there was a dashboard. So these learnings we found. Then we developed a business model after taking some learnings from the BST Mumbai. One was basically, in Mumbai, they were having your store value card and NCMC card, both were open to the service provider. In Delhi, what business model we adopted, we made that only NCMC compliant card will be issued in Delhi. That is the first thing we have done. Second, we have adopted that it will be issued through conductor also. The person need not to visit to the bank. We will be keeping the option, basically, he can use the Aadhaar number to obtain the demographic data of the passenger at the back end. Third challenge was the MDR. Because when the digital ticketing will increase, your manual ticketing will go down, your cash ticketing will go down, then your consumption of the paper roll will go down. Now we invited the bids under three components. One is the per transaction. Second is separate cost for the tickets of the paper roll. Separate for the MDR. Because maximum is 0.9% what NPCI has prescribed, but banks can offer lower also. So we invited the bids for three components, and we had given weightage to all the three components for working out the L1 criteria. And what we made a tender condition, कि MDR and cost of the paper ticket will be reimbursed on actual basis. Because today your paper roll may be 90%, but after 1 year it may come down to 50%. Today your MDR may be only on the 10% transactions. Tomorrow it will be on the 50% transactions. So this kind of sustainable model we developed. Another thing is, instead of 2-year, 3-year contract, we made it a 6-year contract. We made this bid price, including cost of paper roll, your per transaction cost, we indexed it with the CPI. So we made it a basically sustainable model. Government has further decided that in Delhi, first 1 lakh commuters will be issued your NCMC card, the cost will be absorbed by the government itself. That is another major decision which has been taken by government to have more penetration. Government has already decided that whatever cash incentive on the fare DMRC is giving, say 10%, that will also be extended to the bus commuter to have more penetration. Second, no business rule was changed. We will have conductors. Passenger can buy a ticket paying cash. Passenger can buy a ticket using NCMC. Passenger can buy a ticket using the wallet of the mobile app. All the options were open without change of any business rules. So what we feel now, we will achieve digital ticketing with this model. Another basically important thing in case of Delhi is what we have done in Delhi, the digital ticketing will be implemented in phases. we will give go live in phase 1 to the new buses and the buses which are not equipped with the ATM devices as on date. And we will give go live, say, we have planned our fleet for the next 3 years, what will be the new buses we are augmenting in the fleet strength, and what new buses we are going to induct in lieu of the retiring fleet. So we have calculated monthly what will be the minimum fleet every month and what will the increase. In the phase 1, we will implement, say, for 7,000 buses, and we will go live to the vendor. In the phase 2, when our existing contract of the vendor will expire, we will implement phase 2 also, say within 1 year, after implementation of the phase 1. So this is how we are tackling this situation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Very valuable inputs. Naveen, I'm coming to you. That you are our banking partner at Chalo, and you have been very successful in implementing in Best Bombay and other cities wherein the Chalo is implementing NCMC. What is your vision and how you are going to be making it successful with all the stakeholders? But before that, I would like to tell you, sir, that we do 60 lakh transactions every day. And we are speaking to Nitin. Nitin is going to be part of the same panel tomorrow. And we are going to get Chalo and ONDC very soon. Yes.
Thank you, Priya. Thanks everyone for inviting me here. And without taking much time, I would like to focus on 2-3 things. For us, obviously, we have been successful in the digital partnerships to do some interventions there. The second one, sir, like we said, form factors can be many. Because the form factor has been in the form of card, physical card, obviously there is a cost, and that has been one of the reasons where we are trying to find how customer can be persuaded to purchase this card and provide value to the overall ecosystem. There we also believe that it's only a year, it's only 3 months ago we have UPI Litex which has come in. Maybe 1 year down the line we will find some answer, or we could potentially find an answer, we do not know, where offline transactions can also be conducted using a mobile as a form factor. We do not know, but we are definitely hopeful of experiencing this particular journey also in the next 6 to 12 months. The last thing, we have also spoken about MDR. MDR is today a combination of what a acquiring bank pays to the issuer bank plus the network and technology charges that we actually want to get. So here is our thought process, which we have written to regulator separately on overall MDR as a philosophy. We believe that each and every party, which is an acquirer and issuer, knows what is the value that they are providing to the respective stakeholder. Let us actually de-link this charges with the interchange model. If acquirer is, say, giving a value to the transport authority or a transport operator, the transport operator or operator will pay whatever is relevant to be paid to the acquiring bank, and acquiring bank need not share this to any other participant in the ecosystem apart from paying the network fee. Similarly, when the customer is being serviced by issuer banks can take a call whom to charge, whom not to charge, depending on what is the overall relationship value that the issuer bank could find from this particular ecosystem. What happens in this way is we currently, when we are actually looking at a MDR, we are taking a unified view of what is the value of cash handling by various operators, or what is the value of time that a customer is treating. A customer values time more in Mumbai probably than in a city where they can afford to spend more time in standing in a line, right? And even in Mumbai, there is a senior citizen probably who is probably having time to do. So that is where we said saying we should de-link this particular parameters which are actually considered while arriving at MDR, and then we can probably play a role in delinking this and create a opportunity to find economics and drive this NCMC usage. Lastly, sir, we also are taking note of what is happening on ONDC network. We were one of the banks who have actually started to leverage this ONDC network to start issuing something called as the gift cards. We will also leverage this to make sure that we distribute our NCMC cards on the ONDC network. So these are some of the thoughts, sir. And
thank you so much.
Thanks, Chalo,
Naveen.
for inviting me.
I go back to the boss for the closing remarks.
No, thank you, Chairman. I don't want to make any comments because I simply joined in quite informally. I have another session where actually I have to speak. See, all of you have been discussing about me, that is the common man. how to make my travel more comfortable, whether it is NCMC or whether it is the other one, whether it is a platform or whether it is a network, uh, black spots, the difference between people traveling in metro, people traveling in buses and all that. And we have a special case. In Kochi, we have the water metro also coming in, which is the big game changer in Kochi. And people who are going to travel in the water metro are totally different, because they will be the most traditional people who will be traveling from the islands to the mainland to work and then to go back. And even on the weekends, you will also have tourist people also coming in. I will give you a very easy answer from whatever I have learned from whatever all of you have been saying. Now create something which is the most easiest for all of us. So which is the most easiest, we will prefer that. That is the answer I can give you. And that is what our chairman was telling, that the biggest ambition of the Honorable Prime Minister is to make living easy. So this is my answer. And then to Priya, see, you needn't become a DSP. It's easy to sit there and to be invited not by the DSP, but by the former DGP himself to sit by his side. So this is more convenient. Thank you.
Just
Thank you so much,
last
sir.
quick closing thoughts I'll share. First, even though I think, thank you Abhijit ji, you actually explained the technical part of ONDC. Let me try to explain it in a layman's language for people who are still not exposed to it. Actually, to explain it to a political boss, you have to make it absolutely a layman language. So I had drawn some dabbas, which basically means what? ONDC, basically what is a transaction? There are 4 items to it. One, there is a buyer of something, be it goods or services. One is a seller of buyer or services. One is a payment side, and other is logistics, which is supply of service or supply of goods. So what ONDC does, it actually breaks it into 4 parts. And whatever you are good at, you can provide your part and plug into the system for rest of the 3 people, because it's an open loop system. I hope open loop, closed loop, everyone understands. So this is a protocol, only a protocol, as Abhijit explained. And it says that if everyone follows this rule, it is possible to interoperate. So it makes interoperable by breaking the service into these 4 different parts. So this is a basic concept which can be applied across any kind of service and good. So if Uber and Ola were closed loop systems with a Uber card, or if you go onto the Uber app, let's not use the term card because it's on the mobile, you cannot call a driver who is only registered with Ola. There are a lot of people who are registered with both, it's different. But if some driver is available only on Ola, you cannot approach him through Uber. On the other hand, if you are a driver who is registered on Ola, you will not be able to see a user who is on Uber. Technically, you may be the closest to his house and you may be providing a more efficient service. So as soon as we break it up, Ola user is able to see the Uber driver, and Uber driver is able to see Ola user. So this kind of interconnect makes the whole solution much more efficient. So this is a protocol. Right now, I use the words. We had been talking to them to get onto the ONDC. Once they start following the protocol, they will be compliant. Nobody will miss out, I can tell you. I'll just take you back to the story of UPI and RuPay card, etc. In those days, Masters and Visas, first thing I said, all the banks had resistance. UPI, and they had resistance to Jan Dhan. They wanted to charge money for opening bank accounts. They said this will be it's like an obligatory that government is asking. So I requested for a meeting with the IBA. I went personally to that meeting. I said it's a business case. If I consider the whole country as one simple bank, all the banks together, that will be your share. And I calculated and showed how much money they'll be making in the worst case analysis, just by the deposits they'll get. So I said, okay, please make a leap of faith. And after 1 or 2 years, if you feel that it is not workable, so many schemes have come since 1969 for universal banking. You will, and today every bank is making money on Jan Dhan accounts. All of us know those stories. On the MDR, I used to sit on the board of Punjab National Bank, and being the joint secretary in the finance, I was connected to the whole banking system. I asked, what is your cost of these transactional charges? Nobody could give me the charges. I said, you have been in buying those services and still you don't know. They said they charge in so many layers that when you're asking me a transaction charge, I can't tell you how much is the transaction charge. I said, okay. I told the bank PNB that please calculate the total money you pay in the whole year under whatever name. They used to pay 5-6 kind of monies to these cards and divide it by the number of transactions. You'll get the transaction per card. How much was that at that point of time? Any ideas? 52 rupees per transaction. Okay. And because it was some percentage of something. There was a conference in G20, a leader's vision statement, this leader's statement which comes out in 2008, which talked about bringing down the cost of remittance to 5% from 10%, international remittance. When we were designing all this UPI, RuPay and all that, in a G20 subgroup, I was, as representative of India, I was chairing, I was the chair of a subgroup for payment systems. In that meeting, I said, I'll bring down the cost to 3 cents. Everyone was amazed. They said, it is impossible. I said, this is our scheme. It was just the beginning days when we had just approved and we were moving forward. We told them what Jan Dhan is and what UPI is going to do. People refused to believe. They said, this is something, it's a concept, it will not work. Few years down the line, it is actually working. Now people are talking about what UPI has done. It has taken India to the... So this, what has happened? Basic conceptually is what we have converted closed loop systems into open systems, which has allowed every kind of innovation to play. After UPI, what happened? Abhijit mentioned about ki Google Pay and these people have come in. Because after UPI, they saw the opportunity. Otherwise, they had to register with every kind of thing and have a system of their own for managing the finances. I know, I am aware. I am aware. Incidentally, my niece was in charge of that particular thing. So I had given her the idea, why don't you come to UPI? She was in charge of the development of that particular project in Google. So I said, this is something what we are doing. So this is that, therefore I feel so happy and enthusiastic about ONDC is that UPI did only to payment system, ONDC will do to all systems, all kinds of goods and services transactions. So therefore, when Priya spoke to me, the first thing I did was I talked to Dilip Azbe sir. I said, why don't you go and get onto ONDC? I was happy to note that he said this end of this month, the end of November, they have a detailed workshop, how to get it done, and by December, they'll get onto this. What that will do is it will allow all kinds of players. So NCMC will be just one of the players. Whichever, I remember, it's a market we should play. I remember when people talked about RuPay card, Falana, people talked about we creating these BC models for giving the financial services. I said, I don't want monopoly. I'm asking banks to do it as and to ensure that there is universal services available. And I'm confident that after a few years, others will start pitching in, like Universal Postal Bank. So I said, once the competition comes in, depending on the market, people will walk in, and whoever gives the best services will survive. And it is a competition which will determine. So once it comes on to the ONDC, all kind of innovations will come. MDR will also come down, like what Naveen spoke about, that let it be the market thing. That will happen. As long as you have a regulated system, that you have to follow the NPCI, you have to follow this, you have to do this. Okay, NPCI as a public digital infrastructure will be the first mover. They'll ensure that service availability is there. With ONDC, we'll open it to the large market and let everyone come in and be the part of the competition. And that is the right way to move forward. Cash will also cannot be totally done away with. It's the psychology of the people. As for dark spots, again, a very good story is happening in the country, which is basically the telecom connectivity. We all are aware when we started, we actually mapped the whole country. There were 160,000 small BC areas we worked out. It is 5 kilometer radius. We put it on the India's map, accepting the forest areas, etc., etc. Wherever there is habitation, we'll say it's a subservice area. So 160,000 subservice areas were to be there. At that point of time, only about 33,000 subservice areas were having some kind of financial service. So 127,000, just imagine, just about 20% of India's geography was serviced by some kind of banking service at that point of time. So we said these 127,000 subservice areas have to be provided service through this connectivity BC model. Finally, we were able to do just about 116,000 at that point of time, because 11,000 areas, which is about 6% of the country's geographical habitated area, did not have connectivity. Then we started looking at solutions. And then, being in the Prime Minister's office, we actually then started the universalization of the telecom services also. So the Universal Service Obligation Fund. And now I am very happy the way the progress is going on. Every village will have a 4G connectivity by next year, at least a 4G connectivity. That is a project which telecom department is doing. So I think this dark spots, etc., will also come down. But still, solution is not going for a particular thing, allowing everyone to play the market. Create a perfect market, that's the right solution. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, everyone, to take trouble to come here and being part of the session. It has gone beyond, above and beyond NCMC, and I'm glad that we have covered a lot of topics and a lot of success stories I have been listening to. I have never been to Kanpur, never been to Kochi Metro. Sorry, sir, but I'm going to be visiting.
Water metro is the best integration that has happened on the world.
I'll come, sir. I keep coming to Kochi, but never been to. But thank you so much. We have small token of gift from our side. We are going to give, and if we can have a group picture with all of you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir.
I'll say, okay. Okay, we have OSD sir from Mahua, Jaideep sir. He is going to be facilitating Anurag sir. Please, sir, I invite you humbly.
Shall I take leave?
Please be calm. I'll just.
Take a group picture. So please be there.
I thought कि अब आप देने वाले हैं तो इसलिए just
वो भी दे दो.
फोटो के बाद
इसके अंदर हम घूमना सबको ये डालते हैं
सर
अच्छा आपको भी
We take a picture. Huh?
नहीं सर
Okay, we take a picture.
yes sir please come here
Yes, sir.
Well, sir.
नेक्स्ट ईयर से उनको बोला 360 डिग्री कैमरा लेके आए.
Thank you.